I want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm Dr. Zoe Williams and we're here in support of a very important cause. Welcome to the SameYou NFT for Good. I'm proud to help support SameYou. They're an incredible organisation that shines a light on the challenges individuals face when recovering from brain injury. Brain injuries will directly affect almost 1 in 3 people during their lifetime, yet the topic is rarely discussed in mainstream media and society. We simply just don't share enough about this very serious condition that will likely impact our lives. SameYou is dedicated to breaking this silence and giving voice to the survivors and to those who have helped in caring for them. The mission of SameYou is to help individuals around the world who are recovering from brain injuries. By locating crucial funding, SameYou will develop a digital recovery platform to connect therapists and survivors and to build a holistic rehabilitation centre. This is a very special organisation and it was founded by 2 incredible women, Emilia Clarke and her mother Jenny. Inspired by Emilia's own terrifying experience with brain injury, mother and daughter set out to create a charity that helped survivors heal and aid those supporting them on their journey to recovery. They've worked to create a community filled with compassion, love and resilience. Emilia and Jenny can do a much better job actually than I ever could of telling their stories. So before I go any further, let me introduce Emilia Clarke.
Hi everyone. You may have heard my charity SameYou is launching an NFT for good this month. Because growing our community is essential, this very special NFT will also help us to spread vital information about SameYou and our vision. NFTs are not just art, but tools that build awareness. We have 4 different auctions with some beautiful digital art from the amazing artist Steven Sebring and some equally beautiful art from Dreamview. Check out the link and get involved, and please share. Tell everyone you know and help us start this movement.
I'd like to tell you why I founded SameYou. At the age of 24, I was starting to see my dreams come true. I'd been cast in the role of a lifetime, and my life was becoming everything I'd hoped for. It was at that moment I was confronted with my greatest challenge. On a day like any other, I went to the gym to see my trainer for a workout. Suddenly, I felt a pain I'd never known before. I tried to ignore it for a moment, but then everything changed. I suffered a bleed on the brain. Suddenly, the hopes of my bright future shifted to hope that I would have a future at all. I was terrified and soon unable to care for myself. I became completely reliant on my loved ones. I was fortunate enough to have the best doctors and the constant support of my close family to help me recover. Without the love and care of all these individuals, my recovery would have been far more difficult. This is a challenge many of us will encounter in our lifetime. Almost 1 in 3 people will suffer from a similar medical emergency, and many will be young, like me. Recovery from stroke and brain injury is a lifelong journey. To play our part in making the changes that are essential, we created SameYou, a charity to help provide access to care and treatment during the crucial period of stroke or brain injury recovery, and create greater awareness of brain health. By providing access to information and acting as a catalyst for change, we hope through our world-leading partners to improve the lives of millions of people and their families whose needs and voices are currently left unheard. Together we can find new ways to align healthcare and to provide the essential end-to-end care we all need. To tell you a little more about how we're going to pull it off, here's the person who runs my charity, who tells me what to wear, and who gave birth to me, Jenny Clarke. She's my mum.
Thank you, Emilia. When Emilia went through the first of her life-threatening experiences, we started by feeling totally helpless. After a second, more serious event, we realised that we had a clear role in giving her confidence and enabling her to take back control of her life.
Mum was also my primary carer. So tell me, was I a nightmare?
I think the qualities needed for a carer are patience, number 1, and a sense of humour, number 2. because actually it's a really long, hard road.
All right then.
So before I actually tell you something about SameYou and what we're doing to help people after brain injury and stroke, I'd like to spend a moment acknowledging the role of the carer, because it's something I do know from the heart. It was a role I didn't want to play, nobody wants to do it, but I had to, and I did it willingly. But people like me don't really get any chance to tell their side of the story. It's hard for a person in their 20s to be taken care of again, but it's very hard for their family too. We realise that carers also feel alone and abandoned, and frankly exhausted by the stress of the experience, and they need more support too. The Neuro Rehabilitation online programme, Enroll, at the University College London is an example of the outstanding research and development we hope to support with the foundation.
Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's essential that we find more ways, through efforts like the development of digital platforms and mobile apps, to assist patients when they return home from the hospital.
Hello, I'm Nick Ward from the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery, Queen Square in London. Enroll came about in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We realised that patients with stroke or other forms of brain injury would be discharged home much earlier than normal in order to free up acute hospital beds. Once home, it would be difficult for the community rehabilitation teams to visit these patients, and as a result, we'd have a large group of people with stroke and brain injury who were not able to access the care and treatment that they need at this really important early period after their injury. So we talked to the rehabilitation teams and we decided to set up Enroll, a form of group online tele-rehabilitation where 1 or 2 therapists can work with groups of up to 10 or 20 patients. These groups provide support for both patients and for their carers, and we have set up groups that target specific problems with movement, communication, cognition, emotion and even fatigue. The work has been made possible by the fundraising of Emilia Clarke's SameYou charity, and we want to say a big thank you to them and to everybody that's donated in order to support us in this important work. Thank you.
The Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital in Boston has begun some truly groundbreaking research on the resilience in young adults after they suffer a brain injury, and how new behavioural therapeutic interventions can help with long-term recovery.
So people need to get involved. This is one of the worldwide issues of our time. It's not restricted to the United States or the United Kingdom. This is a worldwide call to action. We need people to get involved, because you can really be a part of changing so many people's lives and giving back. I want to sincerely thank SameYou. Their vision, their thoughtfulness. We are incredibly grateful, and we express also the gratefulness of the patients who will be benefited from this work, not only now, but in years to come. So a big thank you to SameYou, and a sincere gratefulness for their collaborative spirit.
The University of Edinburgh, through its highly regarded nurses education programme, is giving registered nurses who work in neurological rehabilitation access to the crucial resources and skills training needed to effectively treat those adults in their care who are recovering from stroke or brain injury.
Stroke is still one of the world's biggest killers. Advances in emergency care mean there are more than 1 million stroke survivors every year. Survivors who are in need of long-term rehabilitation and care. The University of Edinburgh is giving registered nurses the chance to develop and enhance their careers with a 1-year postgraduate certificate in neurological rehabilitation.
We need people to get involved, because you can really be a part of changing so many people's lives and giving back. I want to sincerely thank SameYou. Their vision, their thoughtfulness. We are incredibly grateful, and we express also the gratefulness of the patients who will be benefited from this work, not only now, but in years to come. So a big thank you to SameYou and a sincere gratefulness for their collaborative spirit.
The University of Edinburgh, through its highly regarded nurses education programme, is giving registered nurses who work in neurological rehabilitation access
I want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm Dr. Zoe Williams and we're here in support of a very important cause. Welcome to the SameYou NFT for Good. I'm proud to help support SameYou. They're an incredible